Well, we might as well start calling Idaho Little Texas, because this push for putting religion in public schools really kickstarted back in 2021 with the Lone Star State adopting a national motto bill. It required the phrase "In God We Trust" to be displayed in public schools in a conspicuous place, but only if that poster or sign is donated or bought by private donations. Sound familiar? Well, in the famous words of the band Little Texas, God bless Texas, because it was just 2 years later Idaho did the exact same thing, like word for word. Then in 2023, Texas became the first state to allow chaplains in schools. It gave school districts the ability to employ or use them as volunteers, however they see fit. They could even replace trained guidance counselors. While it did require background checks, Texas's law made no educational or accreditation requirements for these chaplains. The National School Chaplain Association, which there is such a thing, says it was instrumental in leading the charge in that Texas law, called it successfully starting a national movement placing God back in public education. Well, right on schedule, 2 years later, Idaho lawmakers have the very same bill in front of them. Today, just 4 days after it was introduced, House Bill 410 had its first public hearing. The bill's sponsor, Representative Dale Hawkins, who has more than a handful of public school-related bills floating around the State House. Representative Hawkins referred to the bill as the epitome of local control.
That's what this does. It affords the opportunity. It doesn't force any district to do this. It affords the opportunity for them to take advantage of this within our structure for their local communities.
Just like the Texas law. And about that local control, the deputy director of the Idaho School Board Association was there today, and she pointed out the state legislature kind of took that control away from local school boards back in 2021.
For example, there is a law that is adopted by this legislature that ensures that there is not like an inferior or superior religion. And that's why I think you're putting school boards in positions where we're having to pick and choose what religion we want emphasized by a chaplain in our school building that are serving our students.
And she's right. The Dignity and Non-Discrimination in Public Education Act, the same law the West Ada School District has used to say an "everyone is welcome here" sign violates school policy. Well, it says no public school shall compel any student to affirm any sex, race, ethnicity, religion, color, or national origin is inherently superior or inferior. It's right there in Idaho code. So in case you're wondering, could that chaplain come from any religious sect? Well, the founder of Satanic Idaho was there to answer that question.
Many fellow Satanists and I are eager to introduce satanic values into schools, serving as chaplains throughout Idaho. These values include empathy, compassion, respect, justice, plurality, and equality, principles that we believe will provide essential life skills and pure mentorship for Idaho students.
Well, Hans, who is an ordained minister, he said he is excited about collaborating with other faith leaders in the community to enrich the lives of children. Because, as he says, bringing together diverse backgrounds benefits all involved. You may also be wondering about the separation of church and state. Well, as brought up by Representative Hawkins, the shift in our country's judiciary has caused kind of a shift in that separation, and why we are seeing so many bills that want to bring religion to Idaho's public schools. Remember that U.S. Supreme Court ruling that said it was okay for a Washington football coach to lead post-game prayers? Well, that was Kennedy versus Bremerton School District, and the court protected the coach's right to gather the team and pray on the 50-yard line. That was back in 2022, and it kind of opened the doors for conservative lawmakers across the country to bring up a bunch of religious bills. And here in Idaho, they've done the same thing. We've already talked about the "In God We Trust" motto being put in public schools in 2023. But that same year, Governor Brad Little signed into law allowing public school employees to silently pray, should they so choose. Then this year, we've seen a rash of these types of bills. There's the attempt to require Bible passages be read in school so that over a period of 10 years, students would get through the entire King James Bible. There's another to require the 10 Commandments be displayed in public school buildings. Both of those have yet to make it out of the House Education Committee. But finally, the chaplain bill, which passed out of the House Education Committee today and was sent to the full House with a do-pass recommendation. This is something that was tried by 14 other states last year, and it might be worth noting, after Texas passed its chaplain law, they set a 2024 deadline to implement it. Texas has more than 1,200 school districts across the state, and only three small districts opted into this. but you can kind of sense the theme here. After the legislature, and the governor agreed to allow public money to pay for private religious school education in Idaho, I guess the question is, what's the point of trying to turn Idaho public schools now religious?